I'm highly disappointed to my fellow Igbo people.
Oh my God.
Nnamdi Kanu is suffering this because he's an Igbo.
Yes.
We must say it.
Yes.
Had it been that Nnamdi Kanu is from the north or from the southwest, we wouldn't have been there by now. And everybody's keeping quiet. Both the religious leaders, both the political leaders, both those in the diaspora. Nothing is happening. You feel that that is a system. I'm highly disappointed.
Ogene na-ahafio kedu ihe mee n'ụlọ ikpe tata ndị otu maazị ndị ọkaikpe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ji wee na-aba not because na Mazi Nnamdi Kanu bụ onye Igbo ka eji wee na-eme ihe a na-eme ya na ọ bụrụ na onye ugwu na ụmụnne m ihe mee na kọtụ gbogotekwa ịma na-ewetebugolu m na update ka ya wee ikpe si wee gaa na kọtụ agụpụtara m unu ya ka ndị BBC Pidgin si wee denye mana nke kịta achọzi m ka ige ntị n'ọnụ ndị ọkaikpe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ka ịnụzie ihe mee n'ụlọ ikpe gọọ ka ha si wee analyze ka the thing si wee ma before then mmenye gị 1 or 2 ka e wee ghọta ihe na-aganụ ọ wee bụ na ndị ọkaikpe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wetara akwụkwọ ka etinye na ụlọikpe Naijiria maka na arụike Mazi Nnamdi Kanu anaghọzi agata ọfụma na achọ ka eduli aduga na nnukwu ụlọọgwụ enwere na Abuja. Ọ bụ ya ka e wetara dị akwụkwọ prezentị ka kọtụ bidogo on Friday. Onye isi ji dị okwu bụ Justice Omotosho wee kwuo ho ha na nke bụ eziokwu bụ na Mazi Nnamdi Kanu nwee right to live. So na ihe a ya emeze kịta bụ na akwụkwọ ahụ agba iji wee bulu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from nke ndị DSS buga na nnukwu na arụike enwe na Abuja na ya bụ ihe menụ bụ na nyanwa bụzi Justice Omotosho ya enebelụzi dị tinanya na ọ ya ejiziri aka ya setizie kọmitii ya enyocha Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ka amalụ turuli ma ọ na-aya ihe niile agụ na ọ na-aya ka ọ na ha aya maka na ha fụrụ ka ọ ya esi wee bụrụ sọsọ ofu onye arụike nke Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ya dọkịta nke Mazi Nnamdi Kanu n'ọsọsọ that doctor ka Mazi Nnamdi Kanu na-enye the whole power ị na-emetụ ya aka ị na-afụ ihe dị na arụike ya na ọkweghọ ka ndị dọkịta nke ndị DSS nwee access to ihe gbasara arụike so for that na ha adịrọ sure ma ihe niile a ọ gụrụ ọ na-aya n'ezie ha na-adoubt ma ihe ahụ ọ kwuru na ọ na-ayakwa ya so for that reason na ha ya esetize committee and na committee ahụ ha ya eset nọ onye isi ndị doctors the whole Nigeria bụ onye ya eset that committee and na ha ya adị mmadụ 8 or mmadụ 8 to 10 a wee nyochazie arụike Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and na ndị ya na that committee bụ sọsọ ndị oke mmụta na arụike bụ ihe ya na ebe a enyochazie nye ma ọ na-aya n'eziokwu ma ọ na ọ daghị ya n'eziokwu a wee mazi the next thing to do nke ahụ aga then na nke n'oke submission na a na-ekwu na Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ya abịa kwụrụ agba anya ajụjụ ọnụ ya ihe ahụ a na-agba ka ọ hapụ imesensi ya ụmụnne m ihe mee na kọtụ karịrị akarị ka m hapụzi unu ka unu ga-ekwu unu n'ọnụ ndị ọkaikpe Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ka unu ka ya wee ihe si wee mee ka anyị wee nachita azụ.
So in common parlance, he called on him to come and mount his own defense. But there is the other aspect of the ruling that concerns extraordinary rendition. That very one is one that compounded us, because the extraordinary rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is so open and notorious. Two international institutions or two separate panels of the United Nations have made pronouncements regarding his extraordinary rendition and called for his unconditional release. Nigeria is a member of the United Nations and therefore bound to consider that and implement that decision. And in Nigeria here, 3 courts have made similar pronouncements. First was by the Federal High Court of Omaya, which awarded him 500 million naira. And the Court of Appeal also pronounced that he was a victim of extraordinary rendition. And in the Supreme Court, the same Supreme Court that sent this case back to trial, reached the same conclusion that he was a victim of extraordinary rendition. And all these things are of the record. They are all in the file. And we remember when this trial was being conducted, these very documents were tendered in evidence. So it compounded us, it confused us, that the court now made a pronouncement that the extraordinary rendition had no evidence before the court, that no evidence of it was submitted before the court. And you remember, least but not the last, recently a Kenyan High Court made the same pronouncement. But well, if the court was misled by believing, by mistake, that these things were not in the evidence, it also said and left the door open that such evidence be submitted. So we're coming back with that evidence, and it's going to be quantum and legion.
What about the first application on the enemy?
Well, that one too, it wasn't in evidence that the Nigerian Medical Association has intervened. So it came as a surprise. Well, there's a short date given of 8 days for the NMA to submit its report. So somebody is ill, I don't think NMA is going to change much of that. But I think the judge wanted to leave the record open to admit every possible evidence regarding this matter. Our client imagined care. So whatever the court says today does not mean that the government shall withdraw back. Just 2 days ago, I wrote a letter. The private hospital has also expressed readiness to admit him here in Abuja. For security reasons, I won't mention the name of the private hospital. But the government, if the government appears to have issues with taking him to the national hospital, we have given them an option of a private hospital also here in Abuja.
So it's safe to say that the application to be transferred to the national hospital was rejected?
No, rejected. No, it's pending.
Yes. One other information.
It hasn't been rejected. Pending the admission of this report from the Nigerian Medical Association and the opinion of the Nigerian Medical Association. And if you were in court, the judge had ordered that committee or panel to be considered by the Nigerian Medical Association shall have a member from the national hospital. So the national hospital is still in play.
Thank you very much.
One other information, please. One other information. We are saying that the judge has no jurisdiction whatsoever to try Mazi Nnamdi, because that particular issue of being a victim of extraordinary rendition must be determined, and that one will be whether they will be the one that will confer jurisdiction on the court. And the court said there is no evidence before him. No, we are going to supply evidence before him that Nnamdi was extraordinary rendition. Then, having done that, there is no case to answer. So that you should go home with that. And if they fail to do otherwise, we will not see it as a war against the Igbos.
Assembly. I am the primary representative of Mazi Nnamdi. We are very disappointed in the ruling of the court today, where especially the court took a position that the extraordinary rendition was not going to be part of the consideration today. But he, however, to be fair to him, said if we can prove that there were extraordinary rendition, then that would change his consideration. So we are coming back. I've been assured by the lawyers that they are coming back to show that proof. One, the issue of jurisdiction. We will now know whether this court has jurisdiction or not. That's number one. Then number two, I keep saying it, there seems to be 2 sets of rules in this country. One for the Igbo man and the other one for every other Nigerian. Where every other Nigerian gets a reprieve, the Igbo man would not get a reprieve. You look at even the issue of the health situation of our brother. There have been many circumstances where people have been given opportunities to go and seek medical care, yet Nnamdi is denied. Even the president. At every consideration, the president goes overseas to take care of himself. He doesn't even subject himself to Nigerian medical attention. So it is very wrong for them to deny Nnamdi, who the doctors have laid clear evidences that he's having insufficiencies, organ insufficiencies. And what is the government waiting for? For him to die? And then the circumstances will now be brought up again? So, but for the Igbos, I'm more disappointed with the Igbos. The political leadership of the Igbo land, the spiritual and otherwise concerned are keeping quiet, extraordinarily quiet, on the issue of Mazi Nnamdi, especially when it is shown that when it concerns to others, especially in the north, the government is negotiating with terrorists, non-terrorists, dressed up with guns and various ammunition, and yet they have not proved that Nnamdi is a terrorist. So it is up for Igbos to now rise up to ensure that we come in total defense of our brother and ensure that, especially in the administration of criminal justice, that he is not being marginalized. So Igbos should rise up for once and to say that all the spectacle, that enough is enough.
Excuse me. Nigerian Medical Council, now listen. The Nigerian Medical Council, you people examined Mazi Nnamdi on, that was 3 days ago. Yes. And the report we have it, where you people said that the report given by AJ did not even capture the entire health condition of Nnamdi. You discovered more. That you people should not doctor that report, because court has ordered that you people should bring that report to court. We know what is happening in Nigeria, because now that it involves Nnamdi and the Igbos, they may force you people or may intimidate you people, because now that DSSS are even trying to intimidate eminent Professor Emeritus, Professor AJ, who has been a prophet College of Medicine, University of Nigeria, who has been a dean. Then his medical record is here. And somebody that is not even a consultant is questioning the report given by AJ. Now the team, you people, constituted Mazi Nnamdi, that was 3 days ago, and the DSSS, and Nnamdi subjected himself. We have that report. That report, as people have it, provide it in court. Having said that, now what gave rise to this particular issue of medical council is the petition I personally submitted against Dr. Mohammed Nasir from DSSS, the doctor that never examined Nnamdi Kanu, but he decided to depose falsely on oath. That is 7 paragraph affidavit. I submitted that petition. It was on that basis that Attorney General ordered the medical council to constitute a different board. We have been following it up, and that petition must be heard. And the Dr. Nasir should be, when he is licensed as a medical doctor, if he is, should be withdrawn. Barrister Maxwell of PhD is submitting. It should be there. Just like what Honorable said.
Mazi Nnamdi, emeritus professor of medicine, well renowned all over the world, that someone from the government side reported him to the Nigerian Medical Association, and he was summoned to Lagos to face a panel, all because he returned the truthful diagnosis on Mazi Nnamdi. So this persecution knows no bounds. We are wondering when they are going to come after the lawyers as well. They are now going after the idea that the primary physicians from Mazi Nnamdi chosen by him is being intimidated by the government is despicable. The primary goal of everybody should be the health condition of Mazi Nnamdi, not intimidation of anybody that brings the truth before the authorities. The doctor is a witness of truth, and on that truth we shall stand.
I'm highly disappointed to my fellow Igbo people.
Oh my God.
Nnamdi Kanu is suffering this because he's an Igbo.
Yes.
We must say it.
Yes.
Had it been that Nnamdi Kanu is from the north or from the southwest, you wouldn't have been there by now. And everybody's keeping quiet. Both the religious leaders, both the political leaders, both those in the diaspora. Nothing is happening. You feel that this Nnamdi that is existing. I'm highly disappointed. So this the judge said that he's not aware. We are going to bring a formal application. We are going to attach all the whole judgment given by even Kenya. The country said that yes, our country did not do well. Now Malami is he has turned activist. The Malami that comes, he has turned activist. He's now in opposition. As you are doing anything, remember that you cannot be in government forever. Yes, tomorrow. That's my message to you. Thank you.
Ụmụnne m unu anụgoni ya ọ ka ya bụ ihe si wee gaa n'ụlọ ikpe on Friday. So ịnụgo ihe ha kwu, kedu ihe ị na-eche? Obi ga na-agwa gị na olileanya dị. Ha na-ekwu nọ 7 days according to Justice Omotosho. Ọ na-ekwu nọ 7 days ka ọ nye the committee iji wee nyocha ihe ọbụla ha na-enyocha, iji wee mee investigation niile ha ya eme, wee malụ ma ọ na-ahịa n'eziokwu ma ọ na ọ da ahịa, ka wee mazi the next thing to do. Ka ichebe 7 days nwa ka anyị malụ a na-ekwu nọ starting from that Friday ka ya 7 days ya ebido wee count ba. So definitely by next week Friday aya anọ ma eziokwu ma ọ na-ahịa ma ọ nọ na ha ahịa. Chineke mekwala na mmadụ ebere. What do you think? Obi ga na-agwa gị na olileanya dị ka na obi ga na ha agwa gị na olileanya dị? Biko ị na-watch the video ị na-atụsala m ya ọ bụrụ na ị follow this my backup page, biko dododo kabara ka ịmetụrụ m aka na follow button. Okay, see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.